Hey guys, how we doing? I'm Yalek, and today I was going to do kind of a no endless, no problem Dr. T video, just for the sake of something to do, have something happening on the screen while I talk, because what I really wanted to talk about is Intel. However, I'd messed up on the accounts. I had two accounts where I did Dr. T earlier, many hours earlier, I should say, because those are set to different time zones. VPNs, again, hooray for VPNs. So I did those last night. So I have endless on this one, or at least I should. Nope. Wait. Yeah, okay. At least for now. I think I've got some accounts coming up, like come due to renew like this afternoon, but I don't know. I guess it's not this one. Anyway, so we're going to do Dr. T, but I really want to talk about Intel because I got to be honest, it's been like a month and a half or so since I gave up, at least for a while, on the whole leaderboard pushing task force thing because it was just too much. And I've been asked a couple times if I'm interested in resuming that, and I gotta be honest, that is not what I meant to type. But anyway, I'm getting to the point. Hi, Sven. I've been asked if I want to get back into that game. I can't get into it. Other friends I've pushed with, they're still at it, and God bless them. I've been trying to help these guys out occasionally with their intel, but that's like occasionally, because I know what kind of a load that they're going to have for intel, and it sucks. And when I can chip in and help out, that's great. On the other hand, having to spend like an hour and a half or 2 hours a day working on intel is just impossible. This is a mobile game, and nobody has that kind of time. Supercell needs to recognize that, and we as a community have been telling them for years. Here's the thing. I no longer, so we're just going to have Dr. T going on in the background because, whatever, while I chat. But I don't even understand why Intel is a thing anymore. Why does it exist? Because as far as I understand it, Intel was introduced into the game. Obviously, it was introduced when operations were introduced into the game. Operations were not original to the game, in case you didn't know that. The original Boom Beach was just PvP and daily events. So when they added operations, which again were specifically designed for Zookas, that's why you're supposed to use Zookas in operations. Operations were designed to maximize the extent of Zookas used properly according to the game mechanics, like in accordance with their own AI, whatever you want to call that. Anyway, operations were introduced into the game, and the thing is, while it was a really cool feature, I think this one you just bought, Supercell needed a way to make money off of that. And the thing with an operations player is, so for example, I just logged out of the other account where I just found out, I started to do this video and found out that I did Dr. T last night on the account without Endless. Okay, oops. So I had Warriors loaded up, ready to go on Dr. T, which was already done, which is stupid, but that's, par for the course. So the next thing that I need to do on that account is an operation hit, which is not going to be for another approximately 6 hours, maybe a little bit more, 6 hours and 15 minutes. So I loaded up Zuka and I left that account, and I don't need to go back there until this afternoon. I will Sculptor. I'm a fanatic, but I don't have to. But Supercell, see, that's not ideal for them because they are a business and they need to make money. If I don't have to diamond up excuse me, troops, then they're not making money. And if I only need to do an op hit a day with my Zookas, then I don't need to diamond troops, and so they don't make money. They could make money off hoppers and stuff like that if they allowed people without Endless to, hop around and use diamonds more frequently, but then again, they just don't seem to be down with the idea of hoppers. And the way operations are normally set up, you only need to hit once a day, and that means you really don't need to spend money to gem up your troops. However, that was old Boom Beach. They needed a way to keep people in the game, and so they wanted operation players to be also playing PvP still, and in PvP you have to switch up your troop types, and when you switch up your troop types, then, you know, there are only so many ways of going about that. You can't do a warrior attack without Endless, and then jump straight into RCZM, because it takes 51 minutes for your boats of Zukas to load up. So you have to wait all that time. And then from there, the next base you click on might be TGM, or it might be Heavy Zuka. And you just can't keep switching like that repeatedly. Now, I guess in days past, what players used to do, PvP players would load up, say, RCZM for the morning, and scout through their map and take care of all those bases, and then load up, let's say if you needed Tank Grand Medic for the rest of your bases on your map, load those up in the afternoon, and then do another round of map clearing. Where are we going here? Okay. Okay. So, and then do another round of map clearing. And then in between, if you need to gem up troops to make your map clear run more smoothly, you could do that, and everybody's happy. Alright, but here's the thing. PvP is no longer king of the day, obviously. Now, oops, that should be a little bit more to that side, just in case. We're going to go like that and like that. We don't need a reason to keep people in the game anymore. Or at least most people don't need a reason to stay in the game anymore, because we have warships. And warships, the whole point of warships is to keep people active and playing the game. And ultimately that must result in more money to Supercell, because people are using their gems to gem up their troops, which was the original point, so Supercell can make their money. I get they need to make their money, but now they're doing that, staying in the game to play warships. The whole point is it's an active player versus player mode, as opposed to a passive player versus player mode like this, where I attack this player, I'm active, but he's passive. No, now we're both in the game, and we're fighting against each other. Where are we going here? Okay. So, why then, if that's the case, we now have a game mode that is specifically, very specifically designed to keep people in the game, playing the game, using troops, having to use gems or purchase Endless, one or the other. I definitely recommend Endless. I use it on several accounts, because this is my hobby, and I figure if this is my hobby, it's probably one of the cheaper hobbies that I could possibly have, if you start adding the numbers up. So, anyway, other people have other hobbies. This is mine. This one in particular with the Warriors is mine. Okay, great. Hang on here. We need one of these, one of those, and probably just a med kit. And refresh taunt at some point. 5. Nope, not even. Okay. We have a feature that keeps people in the game. That's the whole purpose of it. Actively. More people required to be active than before, perhaps, because again, only one person has to be active for PvP, but now 2 people have to be active for warships. So if that's the case, if the original purpose of Intel was to keep people in the game, you can see how much I opened this. This is the end of this season. I haven't played this since probably like the 2nd or 3rd day of this season, and I don't know why I bothered to get that far. Anyway, so this takes over the purpose of Intel. It just assumes that entire function. So why do we have to have Intel anymore, Supercell? Can anyone explain that to me? Because the whole point of a game, unless I'm mistaken, is for people to enjoy it and have fun and want to keep doing it. And having Intel costs that are so prohibitive, the Intel costs, such as they are enough. Let's see, we want to go to there and up to the front boom cannon, 6 o'clock. And we should be able to taunt all of this stuff, and that'll be great, and this won't range. Cool. So, I don't think we need the left boom mine, but we do want the right boom mine out. Good. And I think we'll start from this shock launcher. So the whole point of Intel was at that 5-10 man level. Like, you're talking about, as I said, an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of time every day spent trying to get up that Intel, which is a god-awful amount of time, to be playing a mobile game. It really is. It's too much, and as much as I love Boom Beach, I've had to scale back. Can't do it. Just can't. I've got a life. Maybe not much of a life, but I have a life. I have other things to be doing sometimes, and Supercell just wants me playing Boom Beach 24 hours a day. Not feasible, and also you're killing your ops community by doing that. You're asking too much. You've been asking too much for years. And now it's actually unnecessary even to ask for that much. If you halved Intel costs, people would still have to play PvP. You're not necessarily losing money because, again, first of all, I mean, you would want to encourage ops players, I think. We like to hop. We like ops hits. You need practice. So if you need practice, then you're going to go hit a bunch of... I really wish Supercell would encourage hoppers more, because we love our endless reserves. And I do. I love having endless. It's great. This is not a paid advertisement. It's just really great. For $10 a month, I feel like it's worth it. You feel like they would encourage that, but they don't. And instead of encouraging that, it's like ever since they introduced ops to the game, they have been trying to punish us, like, heavily, for wanting to hit these operations that they have created. And they're still doing it even though they don't need to do it now. Now they have other features to keep us in the game, occupied, and investing our money one way or another, whether in gems or in endless. I don't know about that second smoke. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, we're going to have to redo those, and that's going to make GBE tighter, but we're going to go over here, and that'll give us tons of time. Hopefully, bullet doesn't pop out earlier than I'd want. But that smoke was, or that shock was way early. Good job. Luckily, we can just keep going like this. Here, because of the situation we're in, bullet taunts a whole bunch of stuff, and one shock to the left repeated, and that's not too terrible. Boom. So that's Dr. T. Yay. We have a feature that completely replaces the original purpose of Intel, and it would really, I think it's really high time for Supercell to realize what an imposition they are putting on their operations players, especially the ones who want to be the best in the world. You don't get to be the best in the world without a lot of practice. So why make it so hard for us, especially when you don't have to anymore? I think now would be a great time for Supercell to evaluate what they are asking of ops players, and also to evaluate how much time they're actually asking ops players to spend in the game every day getting up Intel. It's a lot. In order to be able to do, was it dead end is like 135 or 139 Intel a day for a 5-man. So you do the math on that, and then look at your map. So split that up. You need around 30 a day per person Intel. And you look at your map, and you can get a handful off of Dr. T, and then you can get a handful off of NPCs, and then I can go ahead and clear this map, and I'm still well short. So now, I mean, there's no Intel available, so now I have to go get a second account or other accounts, whatever, and it's a lot, and it adds up. I don't know exactly, I mean, how long it takes to do that will depend on what play style you're using. If you're trying to clear maps with tanks, it's going to take even longer because tanks are slow. I clear maps with warriors, and warriors are very fast, but I was still putting in an exorbitant amount of time on the Intel piece. And it's just, again, hours and hours, and it's not feasible. You can't keep it up. So I think it's high time that Supercell just dropped the idea of Intel, or more or less gave up on it. If you halved it, it wouldn't really be, it would still be there, but it wouldn't be much of an imposition at all. but just give up on the idea. You've invented something to replace it, something that apparently is better because Supercell is all in on this. I know some people who aren't, but Supercell is, and a lot of players are, and that's great. A lot of the YouTube content is focused on this right now. Also great. I'm glad people are excited for it. It keeps people in the game, and I like the game, or I like certain aspects of the game. I want them to keep going, the ones that I like. So I'm happy that people like this, don't get me wrong, but if you've got everybody focused on this and this is keeping them here, then for God's sakes, stop punishing the ops players. Finally, it's been years and years, and we're not like the black sheep of the Boom Beach family. We just enjoy, you know, you've got this mini game over here, and you've got, now this has become a mini game out here, and now this is a mini game with the warships and the ops. I just enjoy a different mini game. Now imagine if Supercell were like forcing people to gather up intel just in order to go play warships. I don't get their thinking. It's killing the goose that laid the golden egg. Because again, ops players love to be able to go just like this and, you know, boost up these statues over here, and then just go troll around for 3 hours looking for as many operations to hit as possible, to get practice on as many bases as possible, to be as proficient as possible, so that you can get yourself, you see what I'm saying? Why not help us out at some point? Now might be the time, because you've been losing the ops community for years, and Duplexity was not an answer to that, because Duplexity is way beyond what most people have the time to invest in. It is a massive undertaking. It's a massive undertaking even to learn all of the, you know, all of the walks for more normal bases, like the Forlorn Hope bases or whatever. It still takes a lot of time and effort. So, like, stop making it impossible, I guess, for us to do this thing that we enjoy doing. And maybe look for other ways, like some kind of a hopper mode where you could leave your task force, jump out, go hit a bunch of ops, come back. Don't need to request to get back in, even if you're a JBR task force. Like, if you put on hopper mode, you can just automatically get back in as soon as you're done. Turn it off and you go back. And you keep your officer status or co-status or whatever it is you happen to have. Why not, you know, try to think of things like that? There could be a lot of things. Improved task force search and stuff like that. Don't really need to get into all that. My point is Intel, the need for Intel is dead, and it really is time for Intel to stop being a concern for people before Boom Beach becomes dead. And I hate to sound pessimistic there, but that's the fact of the matter. A lot of the players I know, getting long here, have to wrap it up. A lot of the players I know are just right at that last nerve with this game, because Supercell has been so unresponsive about this and really hostile to us as ops players. Very suspicious, I guess, in their treatment of us, forcing us to jump through these extra hoops to keep doing the thing that we enjoy. And that's not fair, and there's no need for it. And it needs to go away, but I think I've made that pretty clear by now, and I've taken enough of your time. Would appreciate comments, like, thumbs up, blah, blah, blah. You know how YouTube goes, and hopefully the next video you find is something cheerier than this. Have a great day.